Fidelity seeks SEC approval for Ethereum integrated U.S. Treasury money market fund. Fidelity is seeking the SEC's approval for this new fund. And what the fund is going to do is invest in cash and U.S. Treasuries only. But it does so on chain, and it creates this new kind of share class, and ownership can be tracked on the blockchain. This is in essence an RWA. It's kind of a new version of an RWA because it's as far as I can tell, it's a closed off system. Like it's a closed system. It doesn't interact with anything else on chain. But presumably this infrastructure could then be trivially opened up and allow Fidelity to kind of interact with anything else on chain, right? But it's at the very beginning of this. It seems to be kind of like a walled garden approach. Seems institutional to me, right? Just dipping their toes in the water.
Okay, and this is quite related, I think, to the tokenized treasuries being offered by BlackRock's BUIDL fund, which also leverage the Ethereum blockchain. Are those also is that also taking a walled garden approach?
I think that's on the Ethereum main chain. As far as last time I checked, it's straight. It's not on Base or any L2. It's just on the Ethereum main chain. So I think presumably you could move it around, but I don't know the details actually.
Okay, well, regardless, we have another entrant into the tokenized treasuries market, right? Fidelity, which obviously is a big financial institution. So the significance here, I think, is that, yeah, as we've been saying, more players from the TradFi are entering the RWA game, and Fidelity is the latest example.
And speaking of that, you just mentioned BlackRock, the last story, kind of an overview of this area of RWAs. Tokenized treasuries hit 4.7 billion, and BUIDL gains 463 million in 8 days. So the market for tokenized U.S. treasuries has increased drastically. It's grown from 716 million to 4.7 billion in just this year, or one year. BUIDL is in the lead, and it gained, as I said, 463 million in just 8 days. But there are other players like Hashnote, Ondo, Superstate. They're also seeing increases. Overall, tokenized treasuries increased 566% in the past 12 months.
All right. So what does all this mean?
So, I mean, it's clear that, to me at least, that institutions are entering crypto via RWAs, specifically stablecoins and U.S. treasuries. And this, to me, makes perfect sense from an institutional perspective, right? Like, what do institutions love? They want things that are safe, non-volatile, and give yield, which is usually what kind of bonds are versus equities. And this is that, right? This is the safest form of crypto. It's just tokenizing something that they already have, treasuries or dollars. It's non-volatile. At least it's as non-volatile as it gets in crypto, and it gives a yield.
Right. And of course, zooming out, right? The big significance, I think, is that TradFi is finally starting to use crypto rails and for all sorts of financial instruments.